Today I'm going to rank 30 recurring characters from the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Some of the characters I put in groups because you never see them without the other. So I'm doing 30. I'm not doing all the recurring characters, but I'm doing most of them. I've been an It's Always Sunny Philadelphia fan since I was in middle school. The show's been out now for 20 years and they're still making new episodes. I just love one of my favorite things about any TV show is Always Sunny in Philadelphia because they have just this amazing cast of reoccurring characters that are just so complex, and there are many episodes and they've been coming back for like 20 years, some of them, and they come in and out, and I think they're used very well. And like I say, it's recurring characters, but they are like characters. Some of them like more normal people, but they all have just like qualities, like they're like main characters. This is just my ranking, it's my opinion. I'm going to rank these into 5 categories. The worst one is raining. The next one is cloudy. The middle one is partly cloudy. The second best is sunny. And the first one is blinding. I have 4 things in my criteria. The first one is memorable, how memorable they are to me, and how much other people talk about them online and in person. The next one is how funny they are. Another one is like plot lines plus how many episodes. Do they move the plot forward, or are they just there for the gang to like rag on or use them? The fourth one is just my own opinion. The first one is Cricket. His real name is Matthew Mara. He was a priest before he met the gang. He's probably one of the most famous characters. He's in 24 episodes. Cricket left the priesthood to be with Dee. They knew each other in high school. And then Dee immediately broke up with him, and then his life went downhill from there. And ever since then, every time you see him, he gets worse and worse and worse. And more like at one point he used to be a priest, now he doesn't believe in God anymore. The gang uses and abuses him, and he's usually the punchline of the joke. Like they always say they're going to pay him with money, like $5 to do something gross or embarrassing. And they're like, no, we're not going to give you money, but here's this bag of lemons. The one time Mac and Charlie were going to pay him with a 6-pack, but then they gave him only 3 beers. I think he's very funny. They call him street trash, like Aladdin. He goes to our high school reunion, and he steals a bunch of jewelry and wallets from everybody, and then we get exposed he has ringworm. He got his kidney removed and stolen. And then another time they were wrestling for the troops, and Frank hit him over the trash can. He had a giant gash on his neck. Cricket's been in a total of 24 episodes. He's also a producer on the show, which is, this is a part of it, so he can just come back like whenever. I rate Cricket at blinding. I rate him at blinding because there's so many episodes that are based around him, and he's very memorable. And you just see, I just like the on-running thing of just him slowly going downhill every time they see him, to where he just doesn't look like the person he used to be anymore. Like he lets himself really go with like the long hair, and he's just dirty, and his facial hair's grown out. The Waitress. Charlie Day's real life wife. She was in the first episode, so she was there from the beginning. She has had sex with every male member of the gang, and even Schmitty, the old member of the gang, Jason Sudeikis.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Jason Sudeikis. So definitely a good character because she gets drunk, belligerent, and mean. She had a crush on Dennis. She ended up banging Mac, Frank, and Dennis all before Charlie. She went from having a restraining order with Charlie to having his baby. Now, at the point of the series, Charlie's ignoring his wife and child, but they got greenlit for a couple more seasons, so I'd like to see how that plays out. She's a very memorable character because everyone talks about her, like online, you see her memes and stuff in the videos, but in the show, she's not memorable in the universe of What's Always Sunny in Philadelphia because you never find out her name. They just know her name as the waitress. One time, she called Dennis on the phone, and he's like, who is this? And she said her name is like, who is this? And then we can't hear on the other end. And he's like, oh, waitress, just say that. Just say that. I'm a rater at blinding. I think she has a really good chemistry with Charlie, mainly because they're married. She's very funny. She's very mean, belligerent. She kind of stays the same throughout the whole show until she starts liking Charlie and they have a baby. But then he stops liking them after years of, like, decades of stalking her. The next one is the waiter. He's more forgettable than the waitress. They'll forget him like from the day before, and he's in 7 episodes. Like, he's a waiter at a different restaurant. The one time he was the plane stewardess. Is that what they call them? The people on the planes. He was like on the plane, you know, like the server, stewardess, make sure everyone's okay. I don't really know the name of that. He's more forgettable than the waitress. There was a scene where he saved Frank's life and Frank tried to help him, but he ended up really ruining his life by the end of it, which is par for the course for the gang and how they interact with any other character. I rank him as Sonny. He's not that important to the show, but there's a lot of good running jokes with him, like how they tied his shoes together and he found a piping hot plate of spaghetti, and the next time they see him, Mac is like, I want a piping hot plate of spaghetti. He's like, so you do remember me? He's like, no, I don't. Like, they don't even remember they did that to him, but there's a lot of like running like stuff like that, and they never remember it. I think he's a good actor, and he handles it well, and he gets very frustrated with them. So, Sonny. I'm gonna do Artemis, who started out as Dee's actor friend, then went into a romantic relationship with Frank Reynolds, who had a food thing. They were doing it in a Wendy's dumpster, and Artemis took a bun and rolled it up and then stuck it somewhere Frank didn't like. She also likes to put bacon bits in her hair, so when she has sex, all the bacon bits fall out and she feels like a Cobb salad. I'm gonna put her as Sonny. She pushes the plot in a few of the episodes, like Who Got Dee Pregnant. She comes in and tries to figure out who got Dee pregnant, and they were wrong because she said it was Dennis, but she was really a surrogate mother. And then Who Pooped the Bed? She was trying to figure out which one, Charlie or Frank, went the restroom in their bed. It was Frank because he submitted it and he just lied about it and he knew it the whole time. So she definitely pulls the plot. They call her in for help. She's very funny. She's very like brash and like, she's very like, gross. Like, she says, I have a bleached. Lil Kev, he was in 2 episodes. He was in episode Sweet Dee's dating a mentally handicapped person, to be politically correct. Lil Kev, he's in 2 episodes. Dee dated him, then Dennis convinced her to break up with him, but then she gets back with him because the Dennis convinces her. And the only like really like good thing about that episode is at the end, because he's a local rapper, he makes a rap dissing her in front of everybody at the bar, which is pretty funny. And Charlie can't figure out what Lil means, just how it's like the beginning of a rap name. He's like, what's Lil about? I'm like, does he have like a hand? Like that guy from Scary Movie 2. He was also in the Who Got Dee episode Pregnant, and he was just like a filler person of who Dee was hooking up with. I'm going to give him Cloudy because there really is much to him, and I don't really like him that much, but he had a couple funny things, so I'll put him with Cloudy. Next is Gail the Snail, which is Dee and Dennis's cousin. That's a really off-putting person, but will do anything to fit in with them, even though they're mean to her, and they used to do this thing called salt her. That's why they call her Gail the Snail, because to get her away, you'd have to throw salt on her like a snail. She's a really gross person. She invited them to smoke a joint at her own father's funeral. I'm going to put her as Sonny, though, because she's very gross and off-putting and a very memorable character. She has this like on-running joke about you're mashing it. Like whenever she's giving someone a hand job, she's mashing it. It's funny and painful. And then she does it to Frank's landlord, and he's complaining. And then Frank's like, is she mashing it? So she doesn't know how to give a hand job, otherwise she'd be blinding. Next few ones, I'm going to do some parents. Bonnie Kelly is Charlie Kelly's mom. Out of the whole gang, the only nice parent is Bonnie Kelly, but Charlie still gets annoyed by her. She does panic a lot, and she gets around, which is okay, but she gets around a lot with Frank, and there's a time where you thought that Charlie was Frank's son, but it wasn't. There was a scene in the Christmas episode. She was a sex worker. She would have men come over dressed as Santas, and they'd pay her for sex and bring him a gift, and then they go to the mall. And it's one of the funniest lines, but he's like, did you f*** my mom, Santa? And then he kept saying it, and then he just like bites the Santa on the neck and just beats the crap out of him. It's like a very bloody and gory mess. I'm going to put her at partly cloudy, just because she can be funny, but she annoys me a little bit, to be honest. I get why Charlie doesn't want to see her, but it's his mom, and she's nothing but nice to him. But also, she doesn't really move the plot that much. Next one is Mac's mom. She's very distant, doesn't talk much, very cold. Won't say I love you to her son. She doesn't really care about her son. She just sits around and chain smokes all the time. She's really gross, like says, I'm going to go take a dump. I'm going to do her cloudy. She really doesn't, she's just boring and just very off-putting. It'd be different if she was off-putting and did more to it. It was more funnier. But that's also her characters, to give less. Sometimes less is more with certain characters. But I'm going to put her as cloudy. Mac's father, he's not with Mac's mom. If you thought she was cool and distant, he's worse. He hates his son. He just uses his son to sneak drugs into prison. Never played catch with him, or so he loves him. He's always in and out of prison. There's an episode where Charlie and Mac fake their own deaths to get away from Mac's dad. It was a 2-part episode. It's very good, very funny. I like it. I'm gonna put him as partly cloudy. He's memorable. He's in 9 episodes, but I feel like the brunt of his funniness is just about how much he doesn't love his son. That's about it. Dennis and Dee's mom, Barbara Reynolds, she's very cold and selfish. She cares about her dog more than she cares about Dee. She ends up dying. Frank convinces Dee and Dennis to dig up their dead mom for jewelry, which there isn't any in there. She had sex with Mac. And then Dennis finds out. And then Frank finds out, but Frank isn't really as mad about it as Dennis is. She had a secret affair with Bruce Mathis, and since she thought that he didn't have as much money as Frank, she stayed with him and tricked Frank into raising her kids. I'm gonna do her as cloudy. She's not too memorable. One of the funniest things about her was when she was dead, and the executor of the will, the lawyer, the person that says it, I think that's the executor, but the lawyer was saying what everyone got, and then Frank was tell her she's a whore. I can't believe you're not giving me anything. And he's again, I'm just reading what's on the paper. I'm not giving you anything. Plus, she kind of sucks as a person, so I know it's on the criteria, but it's whatever. She sucks. She's cloudy. The next one is Ernie. He's a barfly in Patty's Pub. He's in 5 seasons. He's in 1 through 5. Whenever they're in the bar, he's just in there drinking. He does some stuff, he handed them the newspaper when they got the worst bar review. I'm going to put him in cloudy. The reason I'm not putting him in rainy is he didn't really do much at all but just sit there. But he died in 2009, and I feel like if he hadn't died, he would still be in It's Always Sunny Philadelphia today. The next group of people I'm going to do is the McPoyles. I'm going to start with Ryan and Liam. I never see them not together, except the season where Liam tries to break up Ryan's wedding, where he goes and marries Maureen Ponderosa, and it doesn't happen because of bath salts in the milk that Bill Ponderosa puts in there. They're together by the end of the episode, so I'm going to put them together. They're very funny. The whole family is just you can do a whole show on just the McPoyles. A couple things about them is they love warm milk. They're always drinking milk at the bar. They're very just off-putting and gross and look sweaty a lot. And they're incestuous. They just have a pure bloodline, and so they just kind of look mutated a little bit. And they're just really gross and weird and off-putting people. They're usually the butt of the jokes in the episodes. They did get back at the gang, though, on one of the episodes where they held them hostage and convinced them to break all the stuff in their bar, and they didn't have real guns, and they just left. I'm going to put Ryan and Liam McPoyle as blinding because I checked. They're only in 8 episodes, and they're just so memorable that I had to put them as blinding. They're just synonymous with the show. They're very good actors, very good character work. Next one is Margaret McPoyle. She had sex with Mac, and she's still waiting for a call back. She's a mute, she doesn't talk, and she really doesn't do that much, so I'm going to put her in cloudy. Jack Kelly is Bonnie Kelly's brother and Charlie's uncle. Charlie's weird uncle. It's never said, but he's attracted to boys. Like, he talks about how he could wrestle Charlie like they used to, and he has a Boy Scout troop leader uniform and hard drives that he hides at Bonnie's house. He's also insecure about the size of his hands. There's an episode where he wears fake hands to a trial and they fall off. He's just like yelling, "Don't look at me, don't look at me." It's very funny. I'm going to give him Sonny because he makes the most of everything, and he's a complex character. Like, he's into boys and he's insecure about his hands. I don't condone that kind of stuff, but it's funny because it's a show. Carmen, she's in 4 episodes. She's Mac's ex-girlfriend. She had a penis, and then Mac liked her, but he didn't like her that much because he was intimidated by it, even though he was attracted to her. And he was really mean to her and shallow, and then they broke up. He gave birth to her baby because she got remarried to a person that loves her and cares for her. And he wants to break everything up, but he doesn't. She lives like a happy, normal life. I'm going to put her as Cloudy because she's not that memorable. The next one is Ben the Soldier. He was in Iraq. He's a really nice guy. He's a little naive. He dated Dee. Then they had an on and off friends with benefits thing because Dee was really mean and would coerce these men to have sex with her. He was in the episode Who Got Dee Pregnant as one of the people that might have gotten her pregnant. He was in 7 episodes. I'm going to put him as Sonny. I love the on-running joke about his jean shorts and how Frank and the gang bought him a pair of jean shorts in his first appearance. And ever since then, he's been wearing them. I really like that commitment, so he's in Sonny. Ingrid Nelson, she was friends with Dee because they used to call her and Dee the Illumined Monster Dee because she had a back brace, and Ingrid Nelson Fatty Magoo because she used to have some weight. Later on, she loses the weight. Dee's very jealous of her because she's successful because Dee didn't live her dream of being an actress, but she's living her dream of owning like a store and designing dresses and clothes at the mall, I assume. Maybe not, just a nice store. She has a small role in the high school reunion where she's there making sure people got the right name tags. I'd say she's like a normal person, like in this universe of just crazy and outlandish people. She's normal. I'm gonna put her as Cloudy. I don't really find her funny, maybe because she's like a normal person. She's not that important to the show. Maureen Ponderosa, she fell to her death. Dennis swears he didn't push her off that ledge. She married Dennis because they had a thing back in high school. Then Dennis hated being married because she was clingy, or just like a normal wife, you know, not clingy, but she just wanted to have a normal relationship, and he didn't want that, so he got divorced. He got screwed in the divorce, so he has to pay for like her to become a cat, and I think he has money to pay for the rest of his life. I don't remember. I used to pay her a lot of money. I'm gonna put her as Sonny. She's very like unique character, diverse. She turns into a cat. She's got like a dead tooth with like smelly breath. I think she's a good actress, whoever plays her. Kind of starts off slow with the cat stuff too. Like you see her in like a cat sweater in the first 2 episodes you see her in. I like that a lot. The next one's Bill Ponderosa. He's been in there 11 episodes, more than Marine. He has a drug and alcohol problem. He leaves his wife and family to just be a piece of garbage, to do all the coke and drugs he wants and sleep with whoever. It's really messed up. Like, his kid ends up becoming his drug dealer, and his kid's like, "I hate you, Dad." Frank was his sponsor, and it was really funny because he'd be like, "Frank, I want a drink." And Frank would be like, "You know what? You deserve it. You work hard." So he was being a good friend, but not a good sponsor, because he's saying, you know, you're a good person, you do good things, which he doesn't, but also shouldn't reward himself with drinking or drugs. The next one's The Maniac. He's in 2 episodes. It's the professional wrestling legend, Roddy Piper. He makes every moment, every scene count. Like when he had a bunch of unpaid parking tickets because he lived in his car, then his car got towed, and then you see him getting arrested. He's a professional wrestler in the show. He's a legit maniac. They asked him, like, "Do you have a family?" And he's like, I used to. And then just left it at that. And then he's in another episode where he joins a multi-level marketing scheme, and he actually does well. It's called Invigoron. It's like berry shakes. It's a little garbage. He ends up becoming a really successful, like, person at that. So I know this might be biased, but I'm gonna do he's blinding, just because he makes every second count. Next one, I'm gonna lump Z and Duncan together. It's Frank's From Under the Bridge friends. They usually show up to like parties. Duncan sets up like music and DJs. I'm gonna do him as Sonny. I think they're actually mentioned more than they actually in the show because Frank's always talking about, I got denim from under the bridge because I was hanging out there with Duncan and the boys. I think it's a great ongoing gag. Next one is Gladys. She's in 2 episodes. She's passed on, RIP. She was in the episode The Dentist System, which is a legendary episode. Dee has her pretend to be his grandmother that's sick to try to get with the pharmacist. She's also the piano player in The Nightman Cometh. I'm going to put her as reigning. Even though she was in 2 of, like, I think, staple episodes, like if I want to show people what It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is all about, I'd show them those 2 episodes as part of a few episodes. But she's not memorable. She's just in 2 episodes. She's a piano player, and then she pretends to be Dennis's grandma, probably against her will. I feel bad for her because no one wanted to give her a ride home. She kind of got stranded at the carnival in the Dentist System episode. Next one is Rex. He was going to be Patty's Pub's billboard model until Frank just decided it was going to be him. I think he went to them with the Super Bowl, and then he was in Mac's Fantasy as an angel. I'm going to put as reigning because one of the 3 times he was there, he was an angel. One of the other 3 times he was there, he was just part of a filler, part of a group. Peter Schmidt, or Schmitty, it's Jason Sudeikis. He went to high school with them and he was a part of the gang, but then Charlie was jealous of him, didn't like him, and they pushed him out of a moving car. And then they attempted to, like when they were adults later, but then he just gets out and it's really good. Then he's in the high school reunion because like they're like, yeah, Schmitty's so cool. He's probably just going to come in at the end. He's going to come in, swoop in, and just bang somebody. And then he goes home with the waitress. So I'm going to give him Sonny. Last episode he's in there for like literally a minute or 2, and he made the most out of it. So I'm going to give him Sonny. And it's also Jason Sudeikis. I think he's very good, very funny actor. The guy that they thought was Bruce Mathis. This was in the Gang Solves the Gas Crisis episode. At the beginning of the episode, they put a baby monitor in there, and then he finds it because Dee's terrible at hiding things. So then Mac steals Frank's van. The windows are tinted on the wrong side, so Matt keeps going forward and backwards, smashing this guy's car, then gets away. And at the end of the episode, Charlie cuts the brake lines. They all jump out of the van while there's gallons of gas in there, and it hits his car and blows up. He comes on and says, "Who's trying to ruin my life?" Then he's in the episode, the gang squashes their beefs. He said, it's sad, he said, someone told me my kids would be here, and they brings them toys, and then he finds out they're the ones that destroyed his car. I'm gonna do it Sonny because when they kept destroying his car, I still laugh out loud to this day, and I don't really laugh out loud that much. The last one I'm gonna do is Jeffrey Owens. It's the guy from The Cosby Show. That's how, like, Mac says it in the episode, the gang gets invincible, because he comes out, pretends to be Donovan McNabb, and he's like, "Hi, my name's Donovan McNabb," and then Mac's like, "This guy from The Cosby Show." And then he plugs, like, McDonald's McMuffins and then leaves. Then another episode, Frank's Pretty Woman, he pretends that he's Tiger Woods. He rubs Dee's really big feet for money. She becomes a foot girl for that episode, and he just is into it. He's in 3 episodes. I'm going to put it Sonny because I just like the ongoing thing of how he keeps saying he's people. It's not Don McNabb and Tiger Woods. And then he admits it. He's, "I'm not Tiger Woods, I'm really Don Cheadle." But he's not. He's not Donovan McNabb. He's the Jeffrey Owens from The Cosby Show. Even I'm mixing up. He's so many different people. So I think it's very funny. So that's why I put him as Sonny.